What's good, everybody? I'm Joe. We're Team One called Penguin, and we're here to tell you about how we did IRSeC, what we did, how we almost crashed and burned in some places, and how we did. Um, Once again, I'm Joe. I'm a second year CSEC major from Long Island, Great Place. My code name was Sensei Penguin. Um, I'm a I'm in the pep band. I do tennis sax and berry sax. Show up today, 7 o'clock. Against Sacred Heart. Please go to hockey. I am on CSH's E board and one of the sysadmins. Think like ops, but CSH. Um, I'm underscore blue, mostly Linux. If you give me a box, I'll probably do blue team for it. Valid Mac user, love my Mac. I like Rust for literally millennia, and I will die by Rust. And this is me vibing, pulling Anthony into the mud. This is a real picture. This is factual. Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Daniel, and I'm a first year CSEC major from New Jersey. My first language was Polish. That's my nationality. I am Polish. I was the Linux guy for IRSeC on this team, and I was the ice fishing penguin, which was, the most important penguin of the five. But I also did swimming and biking in high school. It was a ton of fun.
Hi everybody, my name is Rachel. I'm a second year CSEC major. I'm from Central Jersey. Doesn't exist, I know. I've heard it before. I was on Windows for this team. My penguin was the caddis penguin, and I enjoy tennis, soccer, and color grade. Pretty much anything outside.
My name is Brett. I'm also a second year CSEC major from New Jersey. I like Windows, but I am learning Linux right now. I'm an avid DC fan and comic book fan. I love all kinds of sports, pretty much anything outdoors. My code name was DJ Penguin, and some of my favorite things to do in high school were like boating, like kayaking, and mountain biking.
Hey, my name's Luke. I'm a second year CSEC major. My whole team's apparently from New Jersey, so am I.
Not all
Most of us. I'm a Windows enjoyer who's slowly becoming a Linux enjoyer. Come to hockey. Hockey's really fun. I was a Jetpack Penguin, and this is my second year being in first place for IRSeC. And I'm in charge of injects.
of us. Okay.
Yeah,
This is totally planned out.
totally fine.
All right. So we had a competition. We were gonna do well. We had to make a plan. Overall layout of the team. I was PFSense and Linux, and then if someone yelled at me about Windows, I would have to do Windows. Daniel did Linux. Brett and Rachel were two main Windows people. Brett did ADDNS. I think it was Penguin, the ICMP box, right?
Yeah,
And SMB. Rachel did mostly C-line, the WinRM box, then HTTP and MySQL. And then Luke was entirely on injects. He would get the injects ready and yell at us to tell him stuff. This was our 5 minute plan, which turned into a 60-minute plan because we didn't realize how long this plan was. Overall, it was audit the users, get the red team users out of there, set firewalls, check service configs, make backups of them. GPOs, I love GPOs. We'll get back to that one. Threat hunting, survive, and then overall the model was injects over uptime. If a box was down and there was an inject due, we would handle the inject first and then the uptime because it's worth more to have your injects done than it is to be worrying about 5 minutes of uptime. And this was my fun part. I had fun with this one. Since all of us are CSH members, we all had access to the Foxmox cluster. Foxmox is a virtualization OS, kind of like OpenStack that we talked about, but just VMs. It went burn. We ran a lot of VMs. Once the packet came out, I spent a lot of time recreating the topology. It was fun. And then I made this like score stack Discord bot named Bob Olson. And it got named Bob Olson because apparently I stole his profile picture. Oops. That kind, I acted as red team and just started faking things, and then they had to fix it. It was a lot of fun. It was, I think, good practicing. Everyone would say we ran a 5 minute plan on this, so we at least got to do it once before the actual competition. Who wants to go? You can go.
All right. So at the beginning of the competition, we found out that all of our commands that would reset all the passwords would include the white team, so we had to come up on the fly with new ones. So we did that. Then we audited all the users. For the Linux people, they manually audited the users in firewall. I put in the Windows firewall and AD, and Joe's PF sense rules, and I started making the GPOs, and that's just an accurate representation at the beginning.
Oh wait, it's back to me. Yeah, sense is kind of cool sometimes. Not a lot, I would say, broke on this. Mostly just red team turned off my firewall rules, which wasn't very nice of them. Towards the end, there was a cron job set up to add to my firewall rules, and instead of allowing traffic to the AD box, it would deny traffic to the AD box. I also had stuff like block all, pass in all, basically just ways to either stop us from scoring or to let red team in. And SSH, they love turning on SSH because that's an easy way to get in. They have your passwords, just assume they have your passwords. So they're just going to use that and use SSH and get in. Not fun. As you can see here, there's this cool thing called etcredteam.com, and it just had a login to the AD box. Not very cool. What we learned about routing, make sure your firewall is actually on. It's a very strong defense if your firewalls and PSNs are working. It really blocks a lot of what my team's trying to do from actually getting to your boxes. So make sure it's on, and make sure you're not blocking scoring. Blocking scoring is not a good thing. Yeah, speaking from experience. You don't need the web config. It's not good, and chances are there's a web shell somewhere in there. So just don't have it. Remove it. Either move it, delete it. I don't know. Don't make it accessible. And practice writing your rules file. I have all my rules like in a Google Doc. So when I got there, I just kind of copied line for line. It was very fun.
Linux time. So a lot of things that red teamers were doing is number one, turning off services. When they got bored of simply turning off the services, they started changing stuff in the configuration files. Like in SSH, you see on the right there, it's not here, not in the screenshot, but they would just change stuff in the config files, add some weird comments, comment out some important stuff. I'm pretty sure in the Dovka, or it was the postfix configuration, they changed some yes Boolean operator to true, and it didn't understand what it meant, so we had a very hard time fixing that. Joe was able to find out what that was. Thank you, Joe. Lots of firewall resetting stuff that would flush our IP tables. Very not fun as well. And eventually, our postfix was uninstalled involuntarily. So we had a very hard time dealing with that. We were not able to get that back up because of the lack of internet on our machines. Very hard to deal with. And what we learned about that is you got to threat hunt early. Look for the low hanging fruit, simple stuff. Bash RC etc profile. We found some interesting stuff in our Bash RC files that I didn't get rid of until it was a little late, but it is what it is now. Lots of stuff in cron jobs. We really should have done some persistence elimination earlier, but I was so focused with trying to get those services back up. I should have invested my time differently. And back up all the configuration files somewhere a little bit hidden, at least, or on another machine, like on the Waza server, like SSH config and the like. Here's what we found in our Bash RC. This is the stuff I didn't feel like getting rid of early. Reverse shell at the bottom there, some things to hide some attacker IP addresses, and flushing our IP tables upon every new terminal opening. Again, not fun. Here's what we found in our cron tab. Again, just constantly resetting our firewall rules and the IP tables.
Okay, so what we learned about Windows, they turned off services, of course, the bozo message. The biggest thing was uninstalling IPv4. Thank you, Kenny. Much appreciated. Ports were blocked, and yeah.
They did a lot of different things. In addition to firewall rules, services disabled, they also moved some files. And they altered some content in some of the SMB files. Also on AD, there were some red team services and an SMB share, which I did not notice until like the last hour of the comp. My bad. And I should have audited more my services, like the Metasploit one. I found that in the last 10 minutes. I was like, oh well, it's unfortunate. I think the most annoying one, even though it kind of didn't really, kind of workarounds for it, was disabling my search bar. I never actually figured out how to fix this one. So I kind of right clicked on the Windows logo, the entire comp for AD box, and then went to everything through run commands and auditing your malicious users. Like there's a lot of malicious users on the AD account and more. GPOs. They was my favorite things. So we love GPOs. What we did with our GPOs is we kind of applied them to firewalls, WinRM, RDP, anything remote like related, and command line and PowerShell, and a couple other things. The command line and PowerShell really came in handy when the red team were trying to deploy their PowerShell tools, and it just kind of said access denied. Is that on here? No, I don't think we put it on here.
It's like that.
Oh, it is there. Oh yeah, let's go. And basically we set them to be ignored by only one user. That was named Club Penguin. So these couldn't even be deleted. But these are what make the 5-minute plan into an hour-long plan. Because we manually did this, and it was very time-consuming. But once they were up, like the AD and DNS, I'm pretty sure, along with Club Penguin and Sea Lion, or mostly did not go down at all. I think after these went up, except for maybe once or twice, or due to the router rules. Some lessons I did learn: download sysinternals while you have the chance, because once your internet goes down, big sag, and you can't use sysinternals. I did not do that. Going in, I knew I should disable all scheduled tasks. I got. So I left the AD sync one on like a clown. So that's unfortunate. Audit your users and services more often. Like I did pretty good auditing, I think, on AD. I'm not sure. Pretty sure I did. But I didn't audit my services enough, so I left the stuff like the Metasploit went on. So I learned very much from that. Backup to the Waza server. Backup a lot of things to the Waza server. Linux, Windows applies to both. We learned that. That was like SMB's savior. Like every time they move or change a file, we just pull the backup from the Waza. And add more GPOs. I love GPOs. And check this SMB shares Waysitter.
Just to reiterate, install sysinternals. What a mistake I did was I changed the passwords, yes, but I didn't make certain users inactive. That was a mistake. First thing I'll check next time is to see if IPv4 is installed. I was there for like 2 hours trying to figure it out until the end of the competition, and I was like, okay. Although uptime is important, also threat hunting is important. Ian was like, I have found 20 things, and I was like, oh, I found nothing. So that's also important.
It's still good.
All right, finally we've got injects and IR. Going in, there's a couple of things because I've done blue teaming before that I knew were going to be there. I've always seen a topology inject, and we are always given a sheet with the topology. So I pre-created the entire topology so that once we got that inject, I was able to start working on IR right away. Knowing formal writing is also very useful, helps you get full points on professionalism, which is a good chunk of the grade, as well as being on time. And I always wrote it like I'm writing I'm writing an email to a professor. And then Google is your friend, do research. And there's lots of example injects online I was able to practice with. To reiterate, injects on time, it's worth like 25% of it or something. It's getting them in on time was always top priority. So to focus more on IR, I essentially at any moment where I wasn't working on injects, I focused on just getting as many IR reports as I could. Just several times throughout the competition, I just go person to person, do we got any reports? And this spreadsheet down here at the bottom is where I listed them all. And it'd be even just a small note so that we could reiterate on them in the last hour when we had the extra time. The IR report ended up being about 16 pages, which I think that thoroughness is part of our success. And yeah, essentially just it's worth a lot of points. Use a template. I found a good one online, and just be thorough. Any questions?
GPOs can be used offensively. Think about it.
They can. And they have me.
Yes. Oh yeah.
That's a threat. That was the big.
You got dogs, Anthony.
So you had your own group house job, guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I got my own group. That was a good one, Anthony.
Good job.
Killed it.
This is a lot. I'm the best you've had. Man, I got my own group.
I hate you. You're never getting the flesh. Excellent. I am rude. That was baller.
Thank you, everybody.